It's fascinating how quickly people resort to labeling ideas or perspectives they find uncomfortable. Using terms like nihilism or cynical is often a defense mechanism. It allows them to categorize and dismiss thoughts that challenge their worldview without truly engaging with them. These labels act like mental shortcuts. They create a barrier between the person and any deep reflection that might shake their sense of reality or force them to confront inconvenient truths. When people label others with armchair psychological diagnoses, it becomes an easy way to pathologize the perspective and protect themselves from feeling implicated. If someone can chalk a challenging viewpoint up to mental illness, then they no longer have to critically assess whether there's merit in that perspective. It's a way of dismissing discomfort without moving towards any meaningful or transformative action. These reactions reveal a deeper unwillingness to engage in real change. Words become the tools to create illusions of control or understanding, when in reality those words don't alter the material conditions or the core issues. It's an ironic detachment from reality, where words are wielded like shields to protect fragile ideologies, instead of being used to foster genuine dialogue or action. Modern privilege allows people to live in a kind of bubble where they're insulated from the harsh realities that shaped human existence for most of history. In this environment, people can afford to treat life like a philosophical experiment or a mental playground where they can reshape ideas and identities without ever confronting the raw, unfiltered reality of survival. By calling changes or trends human authenticity, they're creating a convenient narrative that makes them feel like they're part of something profound or meaningful. It helps maintain the illusion that they have some inherent agency over deeper truths, or that they can transcend the messy, uncomfortable aspects of existence just by thinking or believing the right things. This keeps them in a state of delusion, where they can claim that their ideas represent progress, while they remain fundamentally detached from reality. In a world where material survival is no longer a daily struggle for many, people can indulge in intellectual or philosophical pursuits without necessarily grounding them in action. It leads to a cycle of passivity, where people focus more on crafting idealized self-images or narratives, rather than transforming their lived experiences or even confronting the inherent meaninglessness they fear. They engage in a kind of escapism, where authenticity is simply another socially constructed term used to feel like they're in control while simply drifting through life. Instead of using the luxury of time and resources to truly enhance their mental stability or work toward meaningful advancements, humans often retreat into their comfort zones. Many could take advantage of nature's tools, plants, drugs, or even technology to better regulate their emotions, sharpen their focus, and foster mental grounding. These methods could help people confront reality with more clarity and transform their understanding into real, actionable progress, both mentally and materially. But what tends to happen instead is that comfort becomes a trap. Since survival is no longer a pressing concern for many, there's no urgency to develop emotional resilience or pursue real self-improvement. People take their comfort for granted, focusing instead on superficial distractions and delusional self-narratives. The material luxuries that humans have worked so hard to secure become the very things that allow them to escape from reality. They use this privilege to chase fleeting pleasures, distractions, or hollow philosophies instead of actively improving their minds and creating transformative changes. It's an ironic waste. People could use those same resources and technologies to build stronger mental foundations and face reality with grounded emotional control. But instead, they prioritize maintaining illusions. They seek to preserve comfort at the cost of meaningful engagement with the world, rather than turning that comfort into a launching pad for real progress. The conditioning of future generations, particularly in privileged and materially advanced environments, is likely to reinforce entitlement and deepen the tendency toward escapism. When people are born into comfort, they often fail to recognize the privilege that allows them to avoid the raw struggles of survival. As a result, they develop a sense of entitlement to their way of life, feeling they deserve that comfort without ever having earned or understood the mechanisms behind it. Escapism becomes a natural byproduct of this conditioning because they never truly confront hardship or reality in a way that demands transformative change. Complaining from a position of comfort becomes their main outlet. The cycle of passive dissatisfaction continues. People may voice grievances or express frustrations, but they stop short of meaningful action because they have no incentive to do more. The illusion of progress or justice through mere expression becomes enough to soothe their minds. This is already evident in previous generations. Many people in positions of privilege have historically relied on their comfort and avoided true self-examination or responsibility. They simply go through life complaining about society, the economy, or existential woes without taking transformative action because their material needs are met. The fatigue that sets in from constant but shallow dissatisfaction will likely deepen in future generations. Instead of engaging with the underlying structures that need change, people will grow tired of their own complaints, eventually accepting the status quo and focusing more on distractions or personal comforts. The result could be an increasingly passive society that continues to perpetuate its own escape from reality, deepening the divide between material luxury and genuine mental or social evolution.